Welcome to yet another day in wrestling history. On July 7th, 1990, WCW presented the Great American Bash from Baltimore, Maryland. On this night, Sting would finally defeat Ric Flair for the NWA World Championship, solidifying Sting as a main event star for many years to come. At the first ever Clash of the Champions on March 27th, 1988, the same night as WrestleMania 4, Sting failed to defeat the Nature Boy in a 45-minute time limit draw. This match was designed to keep Flair as champion, but also to let everyone know that someday Sting would beat the man. That day came on July 7th, 1990, as Sting would defeat Flair in just 16 minutes. Sting walked to the ring, not yet to his famous theme, The Man Called Sting, but he was wearing his red, white and blue gear that would become a famous look for him. At ringside were his friends, the Steiner Brothers, the Junkyard Dog and Paul Orndorff, known as the Dudes with Attitudes, who were there to prevent any interference from the rest of Flair's crew, the Four Horsemen. In another measure to keep the match fair, Ole Anderson was to be handcuffed on the entrance ramp to the 7-foot-tall El Gigante, later known to WWF fans as Giant Gonzalez. As the ever-confident Ric Flair walked the aisle, Jim Ross and Bob Caudle queried whether Sting would be the man to take WCW into the 90s, defeating the man that defined the 80s. In many of the matches these two had, and this one was no exception, Flair would always work the match defensively, almost as if he was afraid of the up-and-coming star, and Sting would use his power to take control. Sting would also regularly not sell for the trademark chops of Flair, causing the Nature Boy to cower away in fear. Through his body language, Flair went to great lengths to put Sting over throughout the matches they had, and no one can deny the influence Flair had in making Sting the star he became. Sting would lock in the Scorpion Deathlock, leading to the rest of the Horsemen to run to the ring, but they would be intercepted by Sting's friends and would have to retreat. Flair had targeted the knee of Sting throughout the match, and in a moment of desperation went for his trademark figure 4 leg lock, only to be countered into a cradle, giving Sting the victory by pinfall. Both the Maryland crowd and Jim Ross erupted as the Stinger raised the NWA gold for the first time. In his post-match interview, Sting called Flair the greatest world champion in history, and proclaimed that he himself had some big shoes to fill. This night is often seen as the coronation of Sting as a main event star. He would go on to win the WCW World Championship 8 more times, but the next time he would be NWA World Champion would be in 2006, 16 years later, when he defeated Jeff Jarrett at TNA's Bound for Glory. Also on this night, WCW promoted the American debut of the 399-pound Big Van Vader. His unfortunate victim would be the Z-Man, Tom Zenk. Vader made a grand entrance, with early 90s heavy metal music, pyro, and his custom helmet that Jim Ross and Bob Caudle likened to that of a samurai. He took the helmet off, and steam shot from its shoulders. Vader would destroy Zenk in just over 2 minutes in a very one-sided match. Leon White had competed in the AWA previously, but he made a huge impact in New Japan in late 1987, defeating Antonio Inoki in less than 3 minutes in his very first match for the promotion. This being practically unheard of, it caused the fans in Sumo Hall that night to riot, leading to New Japan being banned from the historic venue for a year. Suffice to say, Vader was a big deal by the time he debuted in WCW in 1990. Vader would go on to have many battles with both Sting and Flair. Most famously, he defeated Sting for the WCW World title in 1992 and again in 1993. His 93 reign would eventually be ended by Ric Flair in an infamous match at Starrcade, where Flair grew tired of Vader's notoriously stiff strikes and fought back. Thank you for watching yet another wrestling channel. If you enjoyed this, please comment, like or subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about one of the most dubious nights in Raw's history.